Hey you guys, this is Tiffany Shyla, aka Beautiffied, and I am back with another video. So this time, the video that I have for you guys is going to be a story time. I'm gonna try to get through this story time every time. Not that I tell this story all the time. I've told it probably like 4 times since it's happened all the way in 2021, guys. And I don't know, this story just always makes me so emotional. But it is a story time on the time that I saved a woman's life. So yeah, I'm sure you guys can tell by the title. So let's just get straight into the video, guys. Okay, so this video is gonna take place at a mall. It was in Macy's, in the Macy's store at a mall in Gwinnett. And basically, I don't know, this story always gives me chills thinking about it. Now I have to recall every detail. It's just a lot. So back then, my nephew, we were watching my youngest nephew we had, and he was at this point, hold on, let me see. He was 5 months, guys. So I went to the mall with my nephew because at this point I was watching him all the time and I had to go to the mall anyways, right? So I went to the mall with my nephew. He obviously has to be in a stroller at this point because who's about to carry around a 5-month baby all over a mall? Yeah, so I bought the big stroller with me. And you know, the big one that has a car seat in. So I'm around, you know, walking the mall or whatever in different stores. I think I went to Sephora. That's what I went for. Something in Sephora. And my mom gives me a call and she's like, hey, I saw your location. I see you're at the mall. You're with the baby? I said, yes. So she says, come meet me at Macy's. I'm about to pull up there. That's where she typically parks. So she says, I'm about to pull up there. You guys should come meet me after you're done. No problem. I go in Macy's with my mom a lot. I go to Macy's because they have great deals in there. Don't get me wrong. But just because I went there for one reason, that's what I came for. But you know, your mom's always gonna drag you to the nearest deals. So she asked me to go to Macy's with her. No problem. I said, Mom, I'm not trying to be in there long because I know how she gets. We go to Macy's, me and the baby, and we meet up with my mom. She's like, hey, let's go check out all the pots and stuff upstairs. And I said, okay, no problem. We can do that. So the pots and things are on the 3rd floor. We were on the 1st. So I know you're not necessarily supposed to do this, but she was in the front, or she was in the back and I was in the front. So we had the stroller up on the escalator, right? So we get to through the 1st floor up to the 2nd, and now we're going to the 3rd floor. Still, again, my mom is in front of the stroller and I'm behind or the other way around. My mom is behind the stroller holding the bars and I'm in front of the stroller just in case. Mind you, I have my nephew. I'm holding my nephew because, you know, we're not going to just have him dangling up the escalator. So I'm holding him in my hands as we go up each thing, but I don't want, you know, the stroller to fall back on my mom, so that's why I was towards the front. My mom is just, you know, scanning, because the 3rd floor is the very top level. My mom is just scanning and scanning the Macy's around, and she literally does like this gasp. Y'all, the gasp was so loud. It was so loud, like She's like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, what? I turned around because I'm like face forward with the baby. I'm like obviously trying to pay attention to the stroller and her and the baby at the same time. So I'm thinking something's happening with her. So I turn around behind me and I'm like, what? And she's like, Tiffany, look. And I look on the other side of the escalator. Guys, at first I didn't see what she was seeing. All I saw was a lady who fell on the escalator. And I said, oh no. Like, I hope she's good. We're watching, but we're getting closer to the top, right? And we're watching because we may have to take action soon. And the ladies, she's with two very young children. One of the kids helps pick her up, and she has the other baby in her hand. Like, she had the other baby in her hand while she's falling. So she fell again because she's trying to lift the baby up as she's trying to get up. Okay, it's getting a little chaotic. So my mom says, oh my God, Tiffy, you have to go. And I'm like, what? So I'm like, now I start to like zoom in, because anybody who knows me, I do not have great vision at all. So now my eyes are starting to zoom in, and there's another person. This lady is about to dangle over the glass railing that they have for Macy's next to the escalator. So now I know that like I have to be in full-blown action. And guys, I was not prepared for what's about to come next. So I literally, when I saw the lady dangling over the glass, I had to, this is gonna sound so crazy, but I literally had to throw my nephew into the stroller so this whole time we hadn't reached the top of the escalator, like we hadn't reached the floor, but we were very, very close while watching all this happen. I had to throw my nephew into the escalator, and I sprinted around the corner because they were on the other side of the escalator, and it was like a long run, guys. So I had to think very fast, obviously, because this lady's life is literally up in the air. So I threw my nephew down, I sprinted around the corner, and as I'm sprinting, like I'm sprinting so fast, I had Crocs on, I'm falling on the ground. Like I literally, the next few days, my knees were sore because I fell probably 2 to 3 times from running so fast around the corner, and it wasn't just a small corner. So I'm like sprinting, I flew out of my Crocs, and I finally reached this woman around the corner on the other side of the escalator. So basically what happened was there was the escalator. Like I told you guys, the lady was falling on the escalator, and she had the 2 kids. The one kid that was the older of the 2 was helping her, the mom, up from the front. The kid that she was trying to help fell as well. She's trying to grab, the mom is trying to grab the kid up while she's trying to get her balance back up, and she falls again. A second lady who has nothing to do with this was trying to help this woman and her kids. But the thing about it is she was helping her from over the railing on an escalator. Now, let's think. An escalator has a belt that continuously keeps on going and going down, right? This woman was reaching over the rail. So say this is the rail, this is the escalator. There is a space in between the rail. And as the woman is reaching over the rail to the escalator's belt is literally dragging her down. So at this point, this woman is dangling mid-air upside down in between the space between the rail and the escalator, because the escalator's belt dragged her all the way down. Guys, the trauma, like, repeating this story, I cannot. Like, it feels like it just happened yesterday, and like I said, this happened in 2021. Her purse was flipped upside down to the point where all of her belongings were on the very first floor. This lady was holding on by her ankles, and I got there just in time. Mind you, it's an older lady, and she's a heavier set lady. Like, so, you know, if you're younger and you don't have that much weight on you, sometimes you can like crawl yourself back up. But this was an older lady, and she was slightly heavier set. I came there just in time because she is literally sliding down inch by inch by her ankles, guys. The freakiest thing I have ever seen. So at this point, I'm grabbing her ankles, trying to reel her back in. And I'm using all my might, guys. I'm sitting on the floor, and I'm like pulling her up from in between the crack. But this cannot be a one-person job, especially with myself. Like, I mean, I'm literally, and at this point, I didn't have the weight on me that I have now. But at this point, I was probably like maybe in the 120s, 125, 127-ish. And I'm pulling a grown woman up by her ankles, trying to get her back onto the ground so she's completely safe. So again, my mom, okay, on the other side happening, my mom she finally got to the top, obviously, while I was sprinting over to the lady, and my mom is yelling, "Help, help." We see different people around us just staring, by the way. Like, there was probably 2 people staring, didn't know what to do, and we're yelling, "Help, help." My mom is yelling, "Help, help." I look downstairs while I'm grabbing this woman's legs, and I can see downstairs there are 2 men at the jewelry stand on the 2nd level. They literally start running up the escalator. I see the guys from the jewelry stand. They literally had the speed that I did. They both ran up the escalator as they ran up the down escalator. So like I said, the belt was pulling the lady down because it was a downward escalator. They ran up the escalator to try to reach over the belt and grab the lady by her arms to pick her up while I'm grabbing onto her feet to hold her still. One of the Macy's employees was able to, I guess there's a red button at the bottom of the escalator that allows you to completely stop the escalator. One of the Macy's employees ran over and pressed the red button to stop it while these guys were trying to pull this lady up by her arms. And somebody else, some random person, was actually holding on to me and my body. So it was almost like, you know, tug of war. So they were using my body to pull this lady up while I'm grabbing onto this lady's legs to pull her up as well. And everybody's teamwork helped get this lady up from falling 3 stories. And unfortunately, if this did not happen, this lady would have definitely lost her life. Like I said earlier on, we watched all of the components of her purse dangle and fall all the way to the first floor, which leaves me no doubt that this lady would have literally, and she was head first, it would not have been pretty. And that alone was traumatizing for me to even see before I got there. But thankfully it worked in her favor, it worked in our favor, and this lady was able to get back up to safety. As for the lady that had the 2 kids that she was trying to help in the first place, as all of this was happening, she could regain her balance, and She left while we're trying to help this lady. I watched her leave out of the door. So she didn't even stick around as this lady who was trying to help her and possibly save her life, not knowing. She didn't even stick around to see if this lady was good. When we got to the top, the lady was panicking. Obviously, I was panicking, like my chest was literally in my butthole. We were all panicking because this could have gone south very quickly. The lady just kept saying, thank God, thank God, thank you so much, thank God. It was just a horrifying experience, guys. Now, normally there is there's a little emergency cone in between the two, like the railing and the belt thing for the escalator, but there was not one this day. And I just cannot wrap my head around why. Because what if this was not a grown woman? What if this was a young child? The chances would have been very slim. Like, very, very, very slim. So I cannot to this day wrap my head around why Macy's wouldn't have anything in place for that. If a grown woman can fit down there and dangle, so can a little kid. Whatever. Anyways, Macy's opened up an investigation. Nothing came about it, but I felt the need to make a report because we ended up just leaving. Nobody asked us for our information or anything like that, but I wanted to make a report. I wanted to call up Macy's because I just thought that that was unacceptable, and they really needed to have something in place for that. Macy's directed me to corporate. Corporate called me. They ran back the footage, and a woman calls me and she's like, I just watched the footage and I cannot believe how quickly you moved, how quickly you saw that, and how you were able to literally save this lady's life. And I had no words. I couldn't say anything. Like, I didn't know what to say. I just thought, like, is that something that I want to see today? Is that something that I would ever want on my conscience if I, if I could do something about it? Because like I said, there were other people that were standing off to the side watching as all of this happened, and they didn't help at all. So it's like I had to be fast acting, and she just said that she could not believe the footage as she was seeing it. And she just gave me such thanks, and Macy's gave me a like a $35 gift card, $40 gift card or something like that. And I'm like, thanks, but no thanks. Like, no tea, no shade. But I just saved y'all from a lawsuit, right? And y'all gonna give me $40 as if I want to come. I could not go into Macy's for months. In the actual store, I could not go into Macy's for months after that. It was that traumatizing to me. And I just was like, for a very long time, not even the fact that I couldn't go into Macy's, but the day after, I was having like, well, let's rewind. Before I even get into that, I couldn't go into Macy's for months after that. I did not ride escalators for up to a year. I had to go on an elevator wherever I went or take the stairs. I did not care, but I was completely traumatized to go on an escalator after that. And then the day after, because I did end up getting that lady's contact somehow. I can't remember. I can't remember how I got this lady's contact. That's so crazy. whatever. So I did end up getting her contact, and I was having like extreme nightmares about what was happening. Like, I could not sleep that following night. I kept waking up in the middle of the night thinking, replaying those events, like her dangling in the air just kept replaying in my head. And the next morning I told my mom, and she was like, yeah, me too. Like, it really did mess with my head really badly, but maybe you should reach out to the lady and it will kind of make you feel better if you speak to her. So that's what I did, and I'm about to read you guys off the text messages. So I said, hello, good afternoon. My name is Tiffany. I was the younger girl who ran to help you yesterday. My mom suggested I text you because she thinks it may help put my mind at ease. Since yesterday, I keep having these moments replaying in my head to the point where I couldn't even sleep last night. I'm not sure if you can relate or not. I know that you said you were okay yesterday, but I wanted to make sure that you were truly okay. She said, hello, Tiffany. I want to thank you so much for your caring and thoughtfulness. You were and are a blessing. I told my daughters I remember seeing the concern in your eyes. I too was unable to sleep last night. I kept replaying the accident in my head and thanking God for keeping me sane and covering me in his arms. I'm a little bruised, but I will take that over losing my life. I don't know anything else that would have kept this older woman safe. So again, thank you, Tiffany, more than I can ever express, for your kindness. When it is given freely and received gratefully, joy lives in every heart. And then she said, it was a quote from Maya Angelou. I said to her, yes, I prayed a lot after the accident and had a lot of gratitude that you were okay. I am hopeful that those bruises will heal quickly, and please don't mention it. Sorry, guys. Let me lower my brightness because it is really messing with my eyes. So I said, I am hopeful that those bruises will heal quickly, and please don't mention it. Possessing those qualities is just how I was raised. My mom was right. Your message did put me at ease. So thank you for your very kind words. Yeah. So we texted a couple times after that because I was telling her that I had actually filed a formal complaint about it and that they would be reaching out to her for that. But yes, guys, that is the scary story of how I saved someone's life. I hope you guys enjoyed this story time, even though it was very probably all over the place. Like I said, I probably only talked about this 4 times since it's happened all the way in 2021. So I don't know. It's very difficult to speak about. So I was probably all over the place. I hope not. I hope you guys were able to follow along. But thank you guys for joining me. Let me know your comments and thoughts of this video below, and I will see you on my next video. Bye, guys.